Hello. I am here because I started crying during my meditation session this morning, and my tears came from a thought of losing Nana and wanting so desperately to be able to call and to be like, help me work through this. But the conversation that we had Saturday made me, I'm not going to say it made me realize that I can't do that, but it just made me realize that he is just at a different place than I am right now in life. And that's okay because we all have our own unique paths and journeys, and I know that, he's got to learn more about himself, and he is learning that through dealing with other people outside of me. And like, me breaking up with him back in October was for that reason, so that he could learn more about himself without feeling like he had to be, up under me and vice versa. Was that a mistake? I don't think so. And I don't think so because that distance that we've created with one another has allowed me to be in this space of just contentment with the person that I am, rather than trying to be something that I'm not, and to be someone that I'm not. And sometimes it does feel like he refuses to love me for who I am now, and keeps me in either in one or two bubbles. The one bubble in which is where I was like all about him and lost within him, the person I was throughout our relationship, and then that small space of who I was a few moments outside of our relationships, and the things that I chose to do for myself, whether they were destructive or not, and him not agreeing with it, and him keeping me in that bubble. And sometimes I feel like he can't see me for who I am now, and I'm proud of who I am now. And so how he perceives me and how he perceives all of the things, like, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I don't make mistakes to, like, hinder other people. And, like, yes, inevitably the things that I do are innately going to affect others, but that's never been my intention. I'm just recognizing that I have to really get back in control of how I perceive all the things that are unfolding in my life, rather than allowing myself to get upset or caught up in the things because of what I think is supposed to happen, or because of what I want to happen. Because at the end of the day, things are just going to keep happening regardless of if I'm prepared for it or not. And I just have to be sure enough within the person that I am right now, so that when the obstacles do present themselves to me and I have to overcome them, that I'm doing it in alignment with who I know myself to be, the things that I believe in, the things that I value. And I feel like I've been doing a really good job of that this year, of just taking things for what they are and moving accordingly afterwards, and asking myself genuinely how the things make me feel. That conversation that I had with sucked. And it didn't suck because, like, we were arguing and it didn't suck because like we didn't have a good conversation. It just sucked because at the end of it, you know, the conclusion was for us to continue to create distance. And that hurts. Like, but I know that the distance is for a good reason. I know that regardless of how I feel, I can't change nor manipulate how he feels or what he's going through, and I genuinely like respect that, and I don't want to try to convince him to feel any other way than what he feels right now. Because I'm not him, and the only person I'm in control of is me. And I think what really got me, what stuck out the most of our conversation was that he said that I had control over him, whether I knew it or not, whether it was intentional or not. And I know that I had controlling issues. Like, I know that. And that's what I'm currently trying to work through, not just in my relationship with him, but just in life generally, of wanting to have control of the things that's going on outside of me when the things outside of me are in God's hands. Like, I can only control what goes on inside of me. I can only control the things that I choose to put out into the world. I can only control my truth, my mind, my body. Those are the only things that I have control over, and I'm just trying my best to do my best with what I have, because at the end of the day, like, I feel like I waste energy trying to collect more things rather than learning how to utilize the gifts and tools and lessons and knowledge that I currently have right now, because I know that I have everything that I need to be successful in my life, because I define what success is, what it looks like, what it feels like to me. And I can't get caught up in wanting more or feeling like I need more, because that keeps me in a lack mentality. It keeps me in this narrative that I don't have enough, when like I do have enough, and I do have enough because I am enough. Period. All that other shit is meaningless. All that other shit means nothing. And I really think like this time of feeling not supported by the people in which I always felt supported by is a true test to whether or not I'm going to fully show up and support me in the ways that I need and deserve to be supported. And that's my intention. That's what I plan to do. I plan on showing up for Ash in the ways that Ash is asking. I plan on like holding Ash up when she is down. I plan on getting her to recognize her worth and value rather than trying to seek that shit out in other people, because can't nobody else tell me how much I'm worth. Can't nobody tell me who I am or who I'm supposed to be. Like, that shit is all on me, and it's up to me to stand firm in what I know. It's up to me to stand firm in my truths, and that truth is constantly changing as I wake up and go to sleep every single day, because I experience so many different things in 24 hours, not just in the external world, but inside of me. And those are the things that I have to be aware of to know, okay, this doesn't feel right. Maybe I should steer away from this. Oh, this makes me feel really good. Maybe I should lean more into this. Oh, I feel completely inspired. Maybe I should keep myself in this space. I know right now that the things that make me happy is pouring into my art. I know that right now the things that make me happy is pouring into myself, and the things that make me feel loved and whole, like going and sitting by water, like going and hanging out with my friends that actually make me feel seen and heard, and taking myself on dates, loving on me, dancing, singing, painting, pottery. Like, I shouldn't have to beg for any of those things, because I can give those things to myself. And I think another thing that messed me up a little bit in the conversation that I had with was that he said, he doesn't know what I see in him that I could benefit from or need, but he doesn't see anything in me that he could benefit from. And that hurt, because for a moment I allowed him to put value on my abilities because of what he thinks he needs and doesn't need in his life. And those things shouldn't affect me. And they shouldn't affect me, because of, regardless of him being in my life or not, I know what I bring to the table, not just for people who want to be in a romantic relationship with me, not even just friends, even strangers. Like, I know how powerful my energy is. I know how powerful my words are. I know how powerful my love is, my light is. And I can't get caught up in wanting to share it with him when I know I'm meant to share it with the world. And it's really just about believing in myself enough to know that that's how I'm meant to show up for me. Sharing me, loving me enough so that when I do share me, it don't matter the rejection that I receive, because at the end of the day, like, at least I'm not rejecting me. So, and to me, that's what matters the most. I just have to continue loving myself, and I have to continue being patient with my journey, and I have to continue to make note of where my mind wanders, so that when it gets into a place where it wants to remain stuck on the limiting, I'm able to pull myself out of it and get back to seeing how abundant and blessed I truly am, because I am extremely abundant and extremely blessed. And no one can take those things away from me. It doesn't matter how much someone thinks they know me. You'll never know me more than I know myself, because I really fucking know myself, because I take the time to listen, and I take the time to genuinely be attentive to what it is that my heart and soul need. Because again, fuck the ego. Like, I am in the process of working through all of the egotistical things that drive me, because at the end of the day, I'm more than my body, I'm more than my mind. I am more than the materialistic things that I've achieved. I'm more than my degree. I'm more than my career. I'm more than my mistakes. Like, I am more than any of the things that are tangible and intangible. Like, and I just refuse to allow someone to make me feel otherwise, because they can't see me in the ways that I see me. Like, and sometimes that's a blessing, because sometimes I feel like people can't see me because they can't see themselves. And people can't love me because they don't fully love themselves. Because there are aspects of me that trigger them because of what they deal with internally. You know, I'm not too much. I've never been too much. I grew up hearing that shit all of the time, that I was doing too much, or that I was being overly dramatic, or that I was overly sensitive and emotional because I cry and because I know how to articulate my emotions in a way that other people can't. And that was very infuriating having to deal with, because it always made me feel like I was too much for any person to handle. And it got to a point where I was too much to even handle myself. And so I would just ignore the times in which my internal was crying out for help and was crying out for me to actually be attentive to what was going on inside of me, and just distracting my consciousness with things outside of me that weren't real, that were temporary, that were fabricated. And I really did a lot of damage to myself in that regard, because I neglected Ash. And I neglected Ash because other people were neglecting Ash. And I was just following suit of like everyone else. And then the instant that Ash finally decided to maybe listen to that internal voice that was telling me, this isn't right, this doesn't feel right, this doesn't feel fair, was when everyone dissipated from my life. And then I was stuck to pick up the pieces alone. But then I was scared to be alone because I didn't know how to be alone with Ash. And so I just ended up in a relationship and just constantly going in and out of relationships, whether they be romantic or friendships, because I didn't want to have to deal with me. And I've been dealing with me for the last 3 years by myself. And it has not been easy because I'm dealing with things that I had not dealt with, accumulating over fucking, I'm 25, like 12, 13, 14 years of things that I just kind of pushed through, and not even like pushed through in the way of working through, but just going over or suppressing, and like just not taking the time to really think about how all of these things are affecting me in this present moment. And now I've gotten to a place where I can actually be in this present moment, and I can actually feel in this present moment, because all of the things that I needed to work through, I have, at least to a capacity to where I'm like, all right, like, I know how I feel about this, and it doesn't bother me anymore. I can talk about the situation that was extremely triggering for me in the past, and it not trigger me anymore. Like, I am proud of that. I don't allow the way people react to me to get me to react in a way that I would in the past, because I'm not that person anymore. And the whole point of this process is so that I can grow and not regress to a version of me that I wasn't necessarily proud of. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not proud of the things that I went through. And I'm not going to say that, you know, well, like, I'm not proud of some of the things that I've done. But, like, who is proud of every single thing they've ever done in life? I'm not going to say that I didn't make a whole bunch of mistakes, because who the fuck in life doesn't make mistakes? The point of making a mistake is to learn from them. and I'm learning from them, which is why I get to be here in this space of like actually sitting and talking to myself rather than feeling like I have to talk to somebody else or to dump on somebody else or to give my emotions to someone else, when it's like the only person that's really going to help you figure out your fucking life is you. And maybe, yes, seeking out the help of a professional to help you sort through the things, but if you know the right questions to ask yourself, if you know the right questions to ask yourself, you can easily dig up all of the roots to the things and problems and traumas and issues that are holding you back. And that is what I've been doing for the last 3 years. Not just in my romantic relationships, not just in my childhood, not just through the different things that I endured in school, not just the different things, but just existing. Like, I am understanding my existence. And it's been long. It's been hard and it's been tiring, but I'm still here. And that is a blessing in itself, because I could be dead. I could have decided that this was too much and that I was too much, and that instead of going and having sex to numb the pain, or to spend all of my money, or to go shake my ass somewhere, or to do whatever to distract myself from the reality that I live in, I could have just jumped off of a fucking bridge, and I have not done it yet. And I haven't done it yet because I know that the life that I get to live now is a life full of abundance and blessings, and I am grateful for every single thing I have ever been through in my life, because it has allowed me to be a more aware and mindful individual, to where I know that intention is important. My intention is so fucking important, because my intention is the jump start of the things that I choose to manifest and bring into this life. And I refuse to create a life that isn't aligned with the person I want to become. Because now I know who I am, and because I know who I am, I know who I want to be. And it's just an elevated version of this person right here. A person who isn't afraid of their truth. A person who isn't afraid of their emotions and isn't afraid to share and express them in the ways that make me feel good. A person who leads life through love and not hate. A person who is going to prioritize themselves over others, because at the end of the day, like, I can't put other people before me. And the only time I will put another being before me is the being that I choose to bring into this world, the beings that I choose to care for. And even then, I'm still going to make sure that I'm doing what I have to do self-care wise in order to show up for those beings. Because if I'm not good, how will I ever be good for them or any fucking body else in this life? And so that's why it's so important for me to go through these moments of uncertainty, because it forces me to have to get back into the space of, oh, okay, like, this is all a test. This is all a test to see if you genuinely trust and believe that everything is working out exactly as it's meant to for you. And the only way that I can show God that I believe that is by letting go of control in the outer world and taking control of my inner world, and seeing the glass half full rather than empty. Seeing the light amidst the dark. Seeing the good that comes with the bad, because it's all about duality. It's all about the yin and yang. You cannot have night without day. You cannot have light without shadow. The point is to be able to transmute all that negative energy into something positive. How are my limitations beneficial to where I'm meant to go? Maybe the things that are limiting are there so that I know not to focus on them, to not keep them as a distraction, so that I can move towards my wealth. It's about seeing things not happen in the way in which I think that they're supposed to, and having faith that they're happening exactly in the ways that they are meant to. It's about not allowing mental fog and the fear of the unknown to stop me from appreciating my now. And like, my now is beautiful, and my now is beautiful because I'm beautiful, and how I choose to spend my time is a reflection of how I love me. And I just want it all to exist in a state of peace and love, and that's just what I want, and that's what I'm working towards. And being a human is hard because you're constantly put in front of this idea that you have to be this way in order to achieve these things. And like, I don't care about being the way, and I don't care about achieving the things. I just want to be good with me. And I recognize that the less people that are in my life in these moments show me that, you know, they don't recognize me right now. And I feel like they don't recognize me right now because I am showing up as someone they've never known before, because this is a new version of me who is choosing to stand firmly in my radiance. And that's going to attract the people that's meant to be in my life. And I don't want to be arrogant. I don't want to live in my ego. I don't think I'm better than anyone else. I genuinely don't. Day by day, right? I can only take it day by day, and I can only trust that in these moments of uncomfortability and feeling like, you know, I can't reach out to anyone, and that not a lot of people understand what I'm feeling. And it's not even to say that people don't understand what I'm feeling. It's just no one wants to say that they're feeling these things. Like, I just really have to be able to relate with myself and be like, girl, I feel you. And like, girl, you're not wrong. And girl, you got this. And girl, you're not alone, because I'm not alone, because I've got me, because I've got God, because I've got all my ancestors that are constantly watching me and protecting me and guiding me closer and closer to the destiny, the door, the destination, the point in which I've peaked. And I don't even truly believe in peaking, because at the end of the day, I am ever growing, I'm ever flowing, and I'm ever knowing. And the goal is to just keep learning. The goal is to keep yearning for knowledge and wisdom and clarity. Again, all the things that just help me become a better me. And like, that's all I can focus on. And that's all I want right now. And I pray for everyone who was in my life and that might not be in these moments. And I pray that I can understand why if I don't right now, and that I can allow all of the things to unfold with ease, because it's out of my hands.